the other way, and it's going to be a Washington Lee Generals. All right, there is the pitch. Gomez.
There's a young lady right there. You know, she's working the crowd, trying to sell some of those half-price hot dogs.
Now. Some players getting all right, to give to Gomez. Breaks one tackle, and then he scores. Afshin Bernard, Chris Williams, and Arlington Independent Media. As we wind down our 2011 campaign here, we're at Yorktown next week.
Season started with high hopes for them, but they have two tough games. They had two tough games back-to-back,
right,
with Hayfield and then Yorktown back-to-back. Those two losses, I think, kind of, pushed them into the wrong direction. And let's see if they can redeem themselves tonight, though.
Right, the Generals are 2-6 overall, 2-3 in the National District. Good enough for 6th place, and they've won 2 straight. They've lost 2 straight, including last week's 36-0 blowout at the hands of Hayfield, and the whole country knows what happened with the Hayfield game because of the field goal that was returned. The blocked field goal, actually the field goal catch, can I call it that was returned for a touchdown by Knudsen. But here we are, Stuart now kicking off to open up the game. And that one looks like it's picked up right around the 18-yard line. And it was Devon Lyons. Thank you there, Chris. Devon Lyons with that return. So he gets about 12 yards on that one.
Yeah, Washington Lee has a good field position right here. They're starting on, just north of the 30-yard line. It should be, a good position. They're above the 20. Let's see if they can do something on their first drive.
All right.
I have an idea that, Whitmore and Gomez are going to be the key.
Absolutely. Gomez now his senior year. This is senior night here at War Memorial Stadium. Whitmore, one of the leading receivers in the whole D.C. area, and he's a junior. And I believe that is Gomez, the senior, up the middle for a little or no gain.
They gave it to the fullback that time, Williams that time.
That was Williams, okay. Fred Williams.
I think it was just like everybody else. We were expecting Gomez to get the ball to start the game on senior night. We expect them to start the running off tonight.
So ball is at about the 34-yard line. Gave him 4 on that one, so it's 2nd and 6. Sam Appel, the 6'2" sophomore under center. And there is a handoff again. And there's a fumble.
And I think this is the 3rd game that we've seen the Generals. And I think that's the first time we've seen Gomez put the ball on the ground. He's been a very sure ball handler in the games that we've seen him play. Very surprising there. But it's early in the game. And it's the first cold game that we've had all season.
It is, and that's going to play a factor, especially in the beginning of the game. Once they get warmed up, things will change.
The leather football is a lot harder in the cold weather.
Yeah. Just watch the movie Leatherheads. All right, 3rd down. Big play for Washington Lee early on. Pass way over on the other side. And that is Devon Lyons. He doesn't get anything really on that one. So it'll be 4th down for W&L.
No, defense definitely wasn't fooled on that play. It looks like a little, short pass to Lyons, giving him room to make some, make a couple moves and make a play. But 2 defenders out there, it's hard to make a play on that one.
All right, Amini Shenegwe now, your single safety for Stuart. Stewart's got a couple of really dynamite players in their quarterback, Robinson, and they have their very own running back in Chris Kirby. So you're going to see a lot of Kirby tonight, I'm sure. This ball's going to bounce. Shenegwe is going to pick it up on the far side. Picks up a little bit of running room. Gets knocked out of bounds.
Very, very surprising that he picked that ball up on that. I figured it was just either going to go out of bounds. But, he picked up about, 10 yards off of it. Saved his team about 10, 12 yards. Smart play.
It is smart play, and he ran it right up the sideline. So Stuart will start off in nice field position, right about the, what are they going to call it, the 43-yard line, their own 43. The Raiders are 4-4, 2-3 in the district, good enough for 5th place. And they, on the other hand, unlike Washington Lee, they have won 2 straight, 3 of their last 4, and of course they come into this game on the heels of a 52-27 romp of the Wakefield Warriors. Robinson now going up top, got a man wide open, just overthrown. And that is Shinigwe.
Great play call there. The Raiders came out in a power I formation with one wide out and run the streak down the sideline. Heck of a play call to start the game off with.
Just a bit overthrown. It would have been a nice opening play for Stuart.
I think that play definitely, here you see on the replay there, has his man beat, just overthrown. 2 steps.
All right, out of the power again. This one is a handoff to Kirby, most likely. Can't tell from this far apart, from this vantage point. It is Kirby. He picked up a good gain there.
Pick up 8 yards on that run, and it looks like nobody touched him as he went up the middle.
Okay, now, so this will be 3rd down. Again, it is Kirby, crosses midfield. Looks like he's got enough for a first, maybe a fumble, but they rule the player down.
Kirby showed great presence on that play right there. It wasn't much in the hole that he was supposed to run out of. As you see in the replay right here, waited, bounced to the outside, picked up the first down and a couple more yards.
And it is good enough for a Stuart first down.
Great vision by Kirby on that play. And good patience, too, to wait for the hole open up, bounce to the outside.
They're on the Washington Lee 46-yard line now. All right, Robinson under center, the pitch to Kirby. Kirby's got some room on the left side. He's going to have to turn the corner. And that, what looked like a little bit of room closed up really quickly, that door. And he got taken down. He did pick up a little bit, though.
No, it wasn't much there. They actually broke the power eye for the first time. Ran to the wide side of the field. Washington Lee defense did a great job of stringing the play out.
Good pursuit.
Kirby did a good job. He got something out of nothing there. Was able to pick up 6 yards on that run.
All right, ball now on the Washington Lee 41-yard line. That one looks like it is to Tristan Jordan, I believe.
Robinson hands the ball off to Jordan.
He crosses the 40, gets about 3, maybe 4.
That was an interesting run right there by J.E.B. Stuart. I don't know if we have the replay up yet, but if you could watch the formation, the fullback was maybe 1-2 steps behind the quarterback.
Behind the quarterback, right.
I mean, up here, I think if Washington was able to see it from our vantage point, the defense would have kind of known that he was going to get the ball. I mean, to see, once again here is right here, just 2 steps behind.
Real close. Robinson going to have to keep this one. Musters his way forward. Crosses the 35 to about the 34-yard line. Good little run by Robinson. That's why you're up here, my man. So you can tell us what they
Yeah, I think J.E.B. Stuart got away with a little motion in the backfield that time.
I saw, yep. The officials for the game, the referee is Dave Stevens, the umpire Ed Norwood, the linesman Al Trowinski, the line judge Mark Secreta, the back judge Zach Smith, and the ECO up here in the booth with us, Roberta Secreta. 7:15 to go here in the first quarter. Afshin Banab, Chris Williams, Arlington Independent Media's high school football coverage. Comcast 69, Verizon Fios 38, Washington Lee, and Stuart. Stuart with the ball now. The Generals opened up with the first possession and had to punt, and this one is just overthrown. That was for Jordan, and he had to reach up for it and couldn't hang on to it.
Those types of passes you got to come up with, but I'm not sure even if he would have caught that one if he would have got any yards.
Yeah, there was a couple Generals there.
One of the things we've seen early in this game so far is that J.E.B. Stewart has shown us the power I formation. They've shown us, one receiver. They showed us, one running back.
Yeah, they've mixed it up.
They've shown us the I formation. They've shown us shotgun. Now here they're going four receivers. So they definitely mix it up here early in the ball game.
All right, Robinson now with the fake to Kirby. He's going to keep it. Got some running room and plunges his way forward deeper inside Washington Lee territory, about the 28-yard line.
Robinson on the carry. Stopped by number 22.
A kid like Robinson in the backfield is almost like having another running back.
It is.
There.
It is. He's been exciting to see this year. I've seen him saw him in an earlier game. Exciting ball player to watch, and it's not just Kirby for Stuart, but he's that dual threat that you just mentioned. All right, so this will be third down now. for Stuart. All right, 2 receivers to the near side, 1 in motion. And that is Shinigwe in motion. Let's see what Robinson does. He gives it to Kirby, I think, and this one's taken back the other way, and it's going to be a Washington Lee General. Finally taken down. Couldn't see what happened on that one.
Well, it looks like they tried to run the draw play.
Yeah.
And Washington Lee just busted the play up. So watch it right here in the you see right there in the replay. I'm not sure the running back even had a chance to really get the ball.
Roderick Gibson. Yeah.
I mean, Gibson was on top of it and just took the ball right from the running back. Didn't look like the running back had a good handle of it. That play was doomed from the start.
It was. And now Washington Lee will take advantage of that as they are now deep in Stuart Raider territory. All right, Appel now with the handoff. That is Tony Gomez, the senior. Here it is again.
Watch there. See,
tried to
the
turn
handoff
it
just looks,
right.
Never really got the handoff.
But if you watch the handoff, he didn't hand it off in a normal way. He came around on his waist side, on the other side of him.
Right, almost like almost like the old Statue of Liberty play.
And there's Gibson now. He returned it. He was trying to run, man.
Hey, when you wear 73, you don't get a chance to run the ball very often. Just got to be reminded, young man, don't look back. Just keep your eyes on the prize.
Gibson listed as 6 feet and 220 pounds. There's a penalty on the field. So yeah, he was trying to run.
And this is something that we've seen.
I was going to mention it. Go ahead.
And the 2 other games that we've seen with Washington Lee, Paul does a great job with his cadence, and it looks like they're able to get people to jump off sides at will.
And he got 2 players to jump off sides for Stuart.
We've seen it every time. When they run an extra point, jumps off side, they run a 2-point conversion.
Appel, the sophomore, comes in for Salguero, who was injured during camp this year. He had a big leg injury, so Appel came in, and he's done a decent job.
Yeah, he's showing great maturity for a young kid.
Devon Lyons now, the receiver on the near side. Appel looking at him, still has the ball. He's going to have to get rid of it, and he just takes a fall down.
Smart play, smart play.
Yeah.
There wasn't anything there. Don't risk having a fumble or an interception. Just go down. You got good field position. You don't want to give it up.
Right. 3rd down and 5. That was a loss of 4. Ball right up just on the Stuart side of the 25-yard line. All right, big play. Gomez inching his way forward, moves left and right. Gomez all on his own there, Chris.
Oh, without a doubt. I think that was a bit of a surprise to Jeb Stewart. Washington Lee comes out with 2 tight ends and a power eye and just runs the ball Gomez right up the middle. And, a great vision by Gomez there as well. Found a little seam, bounced to the outside, 1st down Washington Lee.
Ball now right at the 15, so it's 1st and 10 for the Generals. 4:20 and counting here in the first quarter. All right, the pitch out to Gomez on the left side. He loves going on that left side. Not much room there.
No, not at all. And for what I've seen in the 2 games that we've seen so far, Gomez is definitely a north-south runner.
Right.
He's not an east-west kind of guy. And trying to run him on the outside on a sweep or something like that, that's just not a good play for him. He's great going through the hole, but running wide is not his thing.
Shinigwe and Robinson, the quarterbacks, stopping him on that play. Whitmore and Kern now come in. Appel in a big 3rd down play. Staying in the pocket, swings it over to the left side, and that one's incomplete. And there's a flag on the play. That one was going to be for Gomez out of the flat there, and he couldn't hang on to that one.
Yeah, Washington did a good job of, watching. I think they were expecting the blitz coming from Jeb Stewart, so they ran the screenplay there. just incomplete, but, tough play because the lineman, the timing of a screen play is very important.
Yeah.
There's offensive linemen, they're waiting, but, they want to inch downfield to get that next block at the next level. So it's a tough play for the lineman on a screen pass, and typically you do get an ineligible receiver downfield.
And
what was the call there?
And they did that one that time. Third down. All right, man in motion. He's got 4 receivers, Appel. Across the middle, fires, incomplete. Intended for Terrence Willis.
Willis is going to be dreaming about that one tonight.
Yes. He was wide open. Here you see it again. You see Whitmore in motion there. And right there, incomplete.
Great play. I mean, Appel took 3 steps, planted his back foot, fired a slant right across the middle, and you got to have those.
Yeah. Yeah, he had nothing but green in front of him, man. I'll tell you. That's all right. If he wants to, he'll get another shot at it. Speaking of shots, how about that one?
Hey, this is very impressive tonight with the picture-in-picture almost.
Yeah, look at that. 3:24 to go. See, I don't even have to tell you. It can get bigger on you. You don't even know it. It just surprises you.
Hopefully by next season we'll have that yellow line for the first down.
We're going to talk to Devin and Charles, see what they can do.
I was working Charles after the game. I had to come back over to Yorktown to lock up the press box when you guys were done, and I was working Charles late night after the game for the yellow line.
Maybe we can at least get it at Yorktown. We'll be at Yorktown next week for the big finale between the Generals and the Patriots. That's one of the great games we always look forward to doing, Chris.
Yeah, I look forward to whether or not I'm calling the game or whether I'll come over here to watch it from the sideline.
And Appel's call was to Whitmore there. He spins around, inches his way forward, gets close to the 10, but we're going to call it maybe the 12-yard line. Good little catch and run by Whitmore, one of the leading receivers in the area.
On that play right there, you watch the 2 inside receivers ran to the outside. Whitmore stepped back, caught the pass, and run behind those guys, almost like setting picks in basketball.
Right.
And he's the kind of receiver that the first tackler is not going to bring him down.
Now, interesting, Brandon Enroth was set to kick a 30-yard field goal. Let's see what the call is now. If this is what I think it is.
Should be encroachment.
Yep, it is.
Encroachment's the call against Stuart.
And they just may get their first down this way. They get another one like this. Let's see what they... Now it's fourth and about 2, and the Generals call timeout. And Coach Shapiro wants to talk things over.
Yeah, this is one of those things that when you're a coach, you get faced with these coaching decisions throughout the game. And this is one early in the ball game. It's 2.5 minutes or so left in the first quarter. Now you have to make that decision. You were able to get them to jump off sides, and now you're 4th and 1, 4th and 2. Do you go for it or do you still kick it? I really wouldn't be surprised if they set up to kick it maybe and get another encroachment.
Try to do it again. Why not?
But it looks like they're bringing in the offense to try to pick up.
About 2, I would call it.
I'm pretty sure they'll come out on power eye and run Gomez, up the middle to the right side.
All right, let's see. Gomez is at about the 14-yard line. He's deep in the backfield. And the fake pitch to Gomez. Appel. Yes. Touchdown, Washington lead. Terrence Ellis.
Dropped it.
He dropped it. No, he did. Yep. Oh, wow. Wow.
Great play call here. Gutsy play call. Ball just happened to hit Ellis in a very tough place.
Yeah.
His hands. Like I said, it's it's the first time these kids are playing in cold weather.
Right, it is.
That ball
it is.
That ball is so hard when it gets cold. It's hard, the laces fall off. It's a tough thing to handle when it gets cold. So, and this is the first time that these guys have to do that all season. So.
They had me fooled on there. I just thought he caught it, and that was it. I'm surprised he dropped that one. But like you said, I mean, we said at the outset, the weather is a big part of this. Robinson on the quarterback carry.
and Ellis is a senior too, so you got to remember, these guys are kind of, they're pumped up. It's their senior night. It's their last time playing in War Memorial Stadium. They got a lot of emotions built up tonight. Saying, not to make excuses for them, but there's a lot of things going on.
All right, Robinson now with the give. You know who it is. Kirby tries to turn that corner, and he almost does. There is a flag on the play.
Kirby just has that extra gear that you don't, not everybody has that extra gear.
No. Kirby, of course, is senior. For the Raiders, and Stuart has the bell game against Falls Church next week. That coveted prize, the bell.
Right, exactly. And those are kind of cool things when you talk about like rivalries in sports. You got like the I know like Madison and Oakton play. They actually call it Outback Bowl.
Outback, yeah.
Because that game's sponsored by Outback. So that's and that's a big game. And then you see it in colleges as well. And it's kind of cool that when you see when Falls Church and Stuart are playing for a bell, it would be kind of cool if we could come up with something like that for the Yorktown Washington Lee game.
Right.
Now that that rivalry is relevant again with the Washington Lee win last year. It makes the game next week big.
Yes, it does. Again, Robinson now off the carry.
And here, you got Jeb Stewart's backed up, so they're just going to keep what I'm expecting to do, just keep trying to pound the ball up the middle, get some room, and then, we'll see how they did like in their first drive and open things up here. But I think right now what they're trying to do is just get some room, just get away from their goal line.
All right, they did move up a little bit on that carry. Third down now for Stuart. Robinson out of the gun. Again, a little bit of movement in the backfield. Robinson going up top again. Another man wide open. This one's complete, and it's going to be a touchdown for the Stuart Raiders. Touchdown, Stuart, and that is Amini Shenegwe again. We've called his name a few times tonight.
Robinson made a point not to overthrow him on this one. It was almost like the same play earlier in the ball game. He just gets behind him. He gets behind the defenders.
And there it is. You see it. I don't know.
Quarterbacks in the gun. There's nobody, no running back. There's no play action fake. He just runs by the defender.
Yeah, he's a fast one. He proved it there. So Stuart just like that on top now, 6-0. Pending the extra point. Sam Drago, I believe, kicking. And that extra point is good. So 1:10 remaining now. Just like that, Stuart up 7-0.
Stuart did a great job there. As we were just saying, they're just trying to get room, get back, get off of the goal line, Let's just get room, and then we can open up the offense. And wham, we saw it right there. I guess it felt like they were far enough to take that chance.
Right, they did. I'm not even sure how long that was. That was I don't know if you could tell, Chris, about how long that pass was.
I think it was close to 80, 85 yards, I believe.
Yeah. Hard to see up here from our press box. I don't know if you can see on our TV, but the white lines are not as white as they used to be. So, as we end the football season.
Late in the year, last home game. Save some of the paint for next spring, next fall.
Seth Whitmore back to receive, and that kick is out of bounds. The Marching Generals. All right, now it's time for Washington Lee and Coach Shapiro to answer.
Now we saw them do this in the Wakefield game. That they would get the ball in great field position, but instead they're going to force them back to re-kick it. That's confidence in your return.
Right.
That's saying my return men are that good that I want you to kick it to us again.
Well, that's what they're going to do. They're going to have to try to kick it again, and Seth Whitmore's confident. That shows you Stewart's respect for Seth Whitmore.
Exactly. And you also it should be interesting because we have a left-footed kicker, which I noticed on the point after attempt, and then on this kickoff. Dritty's a left-footed kicker.
And there's the kick. This time it's in play. And that is Whitmore. Bounces to the outside. Still on his feet. Not going anywhere, though. Taken down right at about the 34-yard line.
Now, so making a re-kick only cost Washington Lee 6 yards.
6 yards, right.
So you're really not hurt on that by making a re-kick, and you get the opportunity to maybe run one back. So it's a good call by Washington Lee to make the re-kick.
All right, that 6 yards puts them back at their own 34-yard line. Gomez and Williams in the backfield. Whitmore on the far side. There's a handoff. Gomez punches his way up for about 3, maybe 4 yards.
And there's a tough yards for Gomez as well. I mean, but I think that's where he works the best. The running in between the tackles and just running full bore right up the middle. He has good enough vision to bounce and find a little hole, find a little seam through there. So he's a great running back in between the tackles.
All right, Whitmore now on the near side. Thomas Curran on the far side. Appel under center. This time he gives it to the up back. Fred Williams bounces off a couple players. Finally taken down. Nice little rush by Williams.
Yeah, it looks like Washington ran a little trap play right there. The guard came back, came across and trapped the defensive lineman and opened up a big hole for him to go through.
All right, good enough for a first down. Now Washington Lee at their own 45-yard line. Inside of 10 seconds here in the first quarter. Don't know if we'll get this play off. Appel doesn't look like he's in any hurry, so we're probably going to turn things around here. And we do. And that's it for the first quarter. 7-0. Stuart on that big long touchdown pass.
Right. I mean, it's been a great first quarter. It's like two boxers just kind of filling each other out. See what they're going to do. And neither offense have really, besides the one big play, both offenses have been able to move the ball a little bit. And the defenses have been stout so far. So I'm curious to see what creativity that Coach Shapiro is going to use starting in the second quarter to maybe get his team on the board.
By the way, there you see it showed up again. It's Halloween, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
It's just showing up at the scoreboard.
Didn't know that we had some tricks and treats out there in the truck tonight.
Charles is telling me David Aronson hooked us up with that. I like that. Good job, Dave.
Well, all the guys here at Arlington Independent Media, they're top-notch guys.
All right, now from the 45, Gomez gets right up to midfield, gets his forward progress. Nice 5-yard gain for Tony Gomez. Your Yorktown Patriots are at Mount Vernon tonight. I know you're checking looking for a score.
No score yet so far.
No score. It'll come. Your undefeated Patriots atop the National District, #1 seed overall in the region should the playoffs start today.
Yeah, we still got a lot of football left, but 1 3/4 of a game to play.
All right, Appel now again with the handoff. Gomez inching his way forward. Nice run by Mr. Gomez. Powers his way up.
Flag on that play from the referee, which usually signals that there's going to be offensive holding.
And that's too bad because that was a quick play. You don't like to see offensive holding, especially on a running play.
No, especially on a play like that where the running back's taking the ball up the middle.
Right.
I mean, it shouldn't be man on man. Let's block somebody and find a little seam and get up the middle.
And chances are the holding penalty happened after he went through the hole. Couldn't really tell from there, but that was a nice 8-yard pickup that'll have to come back. So it's 2nd and 12 now for the Generals from their own 43-yard line. Okay. Got 4 receivers. Appel now out of the gun. In the pocket, swings it over to Devon Lyons. Tries to move his way forward, cuts back to the outside. Javante Robinson brings him down.
That's a good play there by Washington Lee. Picked up roughly about 6 yards there. If you watch, Whitmore comes down the block, and Lyons catches the ball on the outside, works his way for about 6 yards. Very, very surprising play because you expect, their go-to man is going to be Whitmore.
Right.
And there you go. You see him that time going down a set of blocks, set a screen on the inside so Lyons can swing out and catch the pass. It's a good tandem there with Whitmore and Lyons.
3rd down now. Appel looking over this time to the right side. And this one is a bit short. And that was intended for the aforementioned Seth Whitmore.
Good defense by Stuart right there. Number 21.
Bay Peters.
Peters got his hands up. May have deflected the pass there, not sure, but good defense by Stuart. Now, this is where Washington Lee needs to be careful. Because if you're not careful on this play, this punt can go back quick.
Right, well, Shenigwe is the single safety for Enroth's punt. Dead ball, unsportsmanlike conduct. Enroth is like, I don't know what's going on. He has his towel. He got called for his towel sticking out of his pants. Illegal use of athletic gear.
Well, this is the 9th game of the season.
I know what you're going to say. Go ahead.
And that should not happen.
No,
as a player, you got to,
But Chris, as a player, if you've done this the previous 8 games and it's never been called.
Right, but, as I'm looking down there on the field, that's the only towel I see out there
right.
tonight.
No, that's true. All right, Enroth now with a nice little pooch punt out of bounds. And you know what? That's probably a good thing. Because, I know they're giving Stuart really good field position here. But dude can run. Dude's like a spark plug.
Right, without a doubt. But that also could have been a result of being called for that penalty just 30 seconds earlier. You get called for something like that, you're hurting your team.
You are.
You feel bad about that, and now it's like, it's kind of hard to go back 30 seconds later and, okay, now I got to punt the ball.
So we've seen, I guess you call them mental lapses, one on the punter, one on the receiver who dropped the touchdown pass. And, a lot of time left in this game to make up for such lapses.
Exactly. Still early in the ball game.
All right, Robinson now with the give to Kirby. Cuts it back across the middle. Gets close to the Washington Lee 40-yard line. Good movement by Chris Kirby, that one-step move. Very good.
Oh, he put that right foot in the ground and went left quick.
Yeah.
And definitely saw a hole on that backside and cut it back into that hole and picked up, 8-9 yards.
He can definitely stop on the dime, can't he? And go any way he wants. So this will be 2nd down and short, maybe call it 1. Picked up 9 yards on that play. All right, out of the eye now, Stuart. Robinson under center. Receivers on either side of him. This time he's going to keep it. He's going to throw it. Finds a receiver. Enough for the 1st down. A nice catch and run. And that was Ishtawi Iser.
No, I think that was Tristan Jordan coming out of the back.
Tristan Jordan, number 23.
Tristan Jordan coming out of the back.
Yes, it was. Some goodies at the game tonight. That is a burrito bowl, and I'm sure she's holding it more because it's nice and hot.
Exactly.
Pardon me, good eye. First, that was Tristan Jordan.
So 2 big plays there for Stuart as they're moving this ball down the field, looking to score again to go up 14.
All right, Kirby now finds his way forward again. On his feet, still gets open, and he's going to score. Touchdown, Chris Kirby. Thought he got bottled up there.
Great play by Kirby. Bounced off of the defender as we can watch in the replay coming up right here. Bounces off of the defender right there, puts his hand down, keeps going.
And he's gone.
Those are the kind of things right there. You can't coach that. You can't teach that.
No.
Those are things that kids are just born with.
That's talent.
Talent, without a doubt. I mean,
but that's talent, not just talent. You know what? That's a lot of it's determination.
Right.
It's heart. It's like I want to get some yards out of this. Snap a bit high, hold good, kick is good.
First point after is good. With 8:56 remaining. Chip Stuart 14.
All right now.
Now,
Raiders up 14-0. They're taking advantage of every situation
right,
thus far.
We had a bad punt, and they took the ball 3 plays and go score. And I think this is a critical time now for Washington Lee. I mean, it's still early in the ball game. There's still 9 minutes almost left in the second quarter, but you've just given up 2 scores.
Right.
You know, Stuart scored on a long pass. Washington Lee punts the ball back, and Stuart scores 3 plays later. So this is a critical time for the Washington Lee offense. They need to control the ball a little bit and not necessarily go down the field and score, but they're going to need to at least have some success during this offensive drive. If not, and then that autumn wind, may keep rolling tonight.
Well, that autumn wind has 14 unanswered points right now. Well, let's see what Washington Lee can do here. Coach Shapiro's going to have to get in, reach deep down into his bag of plays and start thinking up a little something for the Generals. Actually, his play calling's been really great. There's just some mental lapses like we talked about. And McManus on the return there.
Well, that's a good return that's a good return right there. So from the kickoff, we got something positive for Washington Lee. Now what they have to do is take McManus's return and just keep building on that positive energy that they just got from that return.
McManus now took that one up to about the 36-yard line. Between the 36 and 37.
So good field position for Washington Lee.
Yeah.
Anytime that you're north of your own 20, you're in good field position.
Great field position, right. Well, they're about 16 yards north out of the I formation now. Appel with the handoff to Gomez, gets some running room, finds a hole, still on his feet. Falls forward, nice run.
One thing about Gomez is that when he's running up the middle, the first tackler is not going to bring him down. I mean, he almost, he's the kind of guy that he runs angry.
Right.
He gets the ball and he's just mad. Like that, nobody's going to tackle me. And he makes that first guy who hits him pay. He lowers his shoulders, and that first guy who comes in to hit him, they're going to pay for sticking their nose in there.
He could have had more, but Schnigwe had him by the ankles and waited for some help. There's Gomez again. No, that isn't. That's Fred Williams. Crosses midfield. Gets to about the 40, gets to the Stuart 47-yard line. Good run by Williams. Nice change of pace right there.
Good change of pace. Good play call right there. They had some success in the last drive with the trap, and they ran the trap again, and there's yards there. So it's a good play call. And this is what they needed. This is what they needed to get that momentum moving the ball. Because, momentum's a fickle thing. So now you got momentum back on your side.
And they've also got Tony Gomez on their side, does Washington Lee, and he moves across the 45-yard line.
Raider 45-yard line.
Go, General!
7:30 and counting here in the first half. 14-0, Stuart on top.
And Washington Lee's driving here. I mean, they're moving the ball down the field, picking up 3 or 4 yards of play. Got a great drive going here. Let's see if they can hit Peter.
I feel like we're back in the 1970s.
It's Halloween. He has his J.E.B. Bush on tonight.
Gomez.
Appel hands the ball off again to number 33, Tony Gomez.
Yeah, I just want to say, hee.
Hey, I think that look's coming back.
It is coming back,
I think it's a little late for you and I, but I mean.
It was definitely late for me. Oh, man.
Now, this is a great position for Washington Lee to be in. 3rd and 5. There's a lot of things that you can do in the playbook at 3rd and 5. You know, you still can run the ball. You still can open up, play action. You can still hit a pass.
All right, Appel now. Across the middle. This one's complete to Whitmore. Nice catch by Whitmore. Bounces to the outside. Finally taken down. Seth Whitmore with a nice run after the catch.
And that was a great pass by Appel. He actually showed a lot of patience waiting for Whitmore to get across and to clear the defender. And once he cleared the defender, hit him with the pass. Great play call there. And Whitmore just not going to be denied. He's not going to go down with the first tackle.
No, Ethan Leventhal brought him down. Whitmore was able to get a little more out of that even after Leventhal got him.
But this is the best thing for Washington Lee right now.
All right, first down for the Generals. There's a handoff to the man up the middle. That is Sam Appel handing it off to Fred Williams. He picks up some more.
And that's a quick trap that they've been having success with for the last couple drives.
Yep.
And what the trap play is basically one of the linemen pull. So you let the defensive lineman come upfield. He's thinking he has a clean way to the running back. Before he knows it, the lineman pulling from the other side hits him in the ear hole, and the hole's right there.
That one looks like a scrum. Gomez on the carry there. Of course, a very short gain.
But this is where Gomez is effective.
Right.
It's running the ball up the middle.
So they can still get a first down here.
Correction, still 3rd down for the game.
So 3rd and 2 here is a big play for the Generals. Looks like they're going to come back. Well, I thought they were going to come out in the power I, but 2 wideouts and the I back.
All right, there is the pitch. I believe that is Gomez. Look at that. There's a flag at the end of that play.
And unfortunately, I think
Gomez. Go ahead.
Unfortunately, that's going to come back.
Come back. Yes, it will. He got a little help from his friend there, didn't he?
Exactly.
There you see Gomez.
It would have been close whether or not he would have picked up the first down or not. But that part right there at the end.
Right. Not only was it help from his friend, it was help from his running back mate.
Well, he got help from the backside here.
Yeah, he did.
He's getting help back here, which, the refs aren't going to call that.
Right.
But when you start pulling the guy forward, is when you're going to get the flag.
But interestingly enough, Chris, he was pulled forward, but his knee had already hit the ground before that actually took place.
Right, exactly.
So, doing him this, giving him that. The penalty, yeah, it is helping the runner. So, but he didn't really get the chance to do it because his knee is down. He's down.
He's down right there. But you can see he's getting pulled, but he's down right there. But it's an unfortunate pull.
Right, and most of that pull happened after he was down.
And that's the kind of play that could be a drive killer.
Yeah.
5-yard penalty here.
Okay, this is, again, big play for Washington Lee. 3rd down. What was 3rd and 2 is about a 3rd and 7. Appel out of the gun, looking like he's taking his time, looking to try to draw somebody off sides. He's going to throw it to the far side. There's Whitmore again. He's got a lot of running room. Good catch and run again by Whitmore. He saved the day there, Chris. That's a first down for Washington Lee.
Single receiver on the wide side of the field. Whitmore just does a great job of catching the ball. Makes one move. Defender misses. 6 points, Washington Lee.
6 points, the Generals. Yep. So it is 14-6. Pending this extra point by Brandon, where's my towel? And Roth. That one hits the crossbar, bounces away. Yeah, looked like it could have been deflected at the line, huh?
But as we talked, as they took the kickoff, they took the momentum that McManus gave them from the kickoff.
Right.
And this was a crucial time for them that they had to come back and answer J.E.B. Stewart's 2 scores. Now, if you get a stop here on defense, going into the halftime, you got that big brother Mo back on your side again. And so this is, still a key point in the ballgame. But now it's a key point for the Washington Lee defense if they can get a stop here. If they get a stop here, you get a chance to you really get that momentum that you've been building off of this last drive, and you really get that train moving downhill. It's a great, great time to go into the locker room with that momentum on your side.
All right, so now Washington Lee kicks off with 4:25 to go here in the first half. They're down by 8. Still a one-possession game, too.
Correct.
Even though with that missed extra point.
But this kickoff is still crucial.
Yeah. Mini Shenegwe is back there along with Tristan Jordan. So 2 deep threats for Stuart. Getting ready for Enroth's kick. He's going to kick it from the left hash mark. From the left side on the 40-yard line. And this one is a deep kick. This one will go into the end zone. Good kick by Enroth. You can't get much better than that.
No, you get a touchback off of that kickoff. That nullifies anything that those returners can do. So now Stuart starting from their own 20-yard line with 80 yards to go.
4:25 to go. For the Raiders.
But last time they had the ball, they went 80 yards in 3 plays.
Yeah, they did.
Most of it all on one play.
That's right. That's deep pass. All right, again now there are receivers. Sama Samami, the receiver at the near side, but it is, of course, Chris Kirby. As usual, Chris Kirby right, left, and up the middle. That time he was left.
And that's a good run by Kirby. I mean, he's just... Just a nice, everything's fluid about him.
Yeah. They give him 6 on that, so 4 yards to go for the first down. Second down for Stuart.
And when you're picking up 6 yards a pop, you can matriculate the ball down the field pretty quick.
Shenegwe to the far side, Samami to the near side. Again, Kirby, this time he's bobbling it in the backfield and falls on it finally.
Option play by J.E.B. Stewart.
Right.
Bad pitch by Robinson. Kirby catches that.
Yeah, he had room, didn't he?
Plenty of room on the outside on that play. He may still be running.
Yeah, that was a bad pitch, but he would have been able to outrun those generals there.
Yeah, there was a little seam right there for him to cut the ball up and keep.
Brandon Enroth again working on his kicking. So they lose a little bit on that one. Looks like it's they spotting the ball.
Looks like we had a flag in the play also.
Too, yeah. Yeah, they're going to work things out. Chris, Yorktown, the number 1 seed. Let's talk really quickly about the playoffs. Yorktown is 1, Hayfield, Stonebridge is 3, Madison, South County, Lee, Mount Vernon, and Langley. And as we discussed this last week, and we do every year, it's not really based on record alone. It's based on
there's PowerPoint. There's a PowerPoint system involved in the playoffs as well, but you get points for your wins, and then like say Yorktown's a Division 5 school. So if they beat a Division 6 school, they get an extra point as well for beating a bigger school. So so the PowerPoints, a lot of it's based on what you do, but it's also based on what your opponents do.
Right.
So So it's not just wins and losses by you, but you got to have, it's almost like your opponents have to help you out as well.
In a way, teams that you've played, whatever they do against other teams, can benefit you sometimes. There's another flag. A dead ball against Stuart now.
And that's a tough penalty. Those are the kind of penalties that make a coach lose his hair. Because you come in after.
It's pouring. Go ahead, finish your thought.
You come in after a penalty. You just had a penalty called, so you have that extra time to get your play called, and then you get a delay a game.
All right, Robinson now is going to have to try to gain a chunk of it back. He's just unloading this one. This one's up for grabs, and I think it's intercepted.
Dropped it.
Dropped it. Yep, he dropped it. All right, that was Curran now who almost caught it, the wide receiver for Washington Lee. Wide receiver
Robinson's
DB.
in trouble in the backfield. Scrambles out and just chucks the ball up.
Yeah.
Hope something good happens.
That was a Hail Mary.
And then you see the receiver became a defender.
Basically,
and the receiver broke that play out. But that would have been a great thing for Washington Lee to keep building some momentum there. Now Stewart's back to deep, and they're punting from their own goal line.
Going for the blocking, it was blocked. Washington Lee will carry it in for the touchdown. I believe that was Robbie Moore that might have scooped it up. Didn't get it. You couldn't tell who blocked it. Could you tell there, Chris?
I didn't see who blocked it, but Moore made a great play.
Yeah, he scooped it up and scored. What a nice dive. Look at that. All out into that kicker.
And as a punt blocker, what you're taught to do is that you got to anticipate where the punter's going to kick the ball
and where he's going to land.
And you got to find that pick that point out, and that's where you have to go. And when you time it right, the ball and the punter meet at that point. You got to block.
Well, that's exactly what happened. Robbie Moore scooped it up, carried in for the touchdown, and there's a penalty against the Generals. It's a dead ball, unsportsmanlike conduct. There's too much celebrating there.
A little bit, and it's a dead ball, so the penalty comes after the touchdown.
Right.
So the touchdown still counts. Now Washington Lee's coming out with their offense to come out for the 2-point conversion. Let's see if Stuart stays on sides.
Okay, this one is a 2-point conversion to tie it. Appel backing up out of the gun, was under center. Now there's another penalty marker. Find that man in the white cap. Let's see what this one is.
It's a timeout by Stuart.
Yeah.
Evidently, Stuart coaches didn't like what they saw there. As Washington Lee came out in a power eye, and then shifted to 4 receivers and a quarterback in the gun. So I wasn't sure maybe if they had the right personnel in for that.
Yeah,
so at this point in the ball game, 2.5 minutes left in the first half. Call timeout, talk it over, and let's see if you can make the right play. Now, what you got to remember here is that I'm pretty sure Coach Shapiro's not going to call the same play.
No. Oh, absolutely not. Absolutely not. But he might run it out of the same formation.
Correct. But they didn't show much,
no,
because the timeout was called early. So it's impossible they could run the same play. One of those questions we may have to ask him after the game.
Yeah. All right. Appel now under center. The sophomore quarterback. Let's see what goes on here. Yeah, there they go, Chris. There they go. All right, the give to Gomez. Breaks one tackle, and then he scores. Yeah, you're laughing. There's a marker down again, though.
flag in the play, but
they ran the same formation.
When I saw that play, I'm sat there and I'm sitting there and I'm like, Gomez is going left. I mean, it was just one of those things you could see. Everybody with
shifting over.
You run 4 receivers to that side of the field, with all the attention that Whitmore gets. You're thinking they're going to throw a pass there, and great play call.
Absolutely, that's a typical Josh Shapiro play call too. It is. He has a bag of tricks, and he'll pull them out every now and then. It doesn't matter where you are on the field. And Shapiro congratulating his senior running back. They did. They ran the same formation, and Gomez went to the left, like you said.
Just great play call there by Coach Shapiro. I think they're going to wave the flag off here. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Well, 14 unanswered by Stuart, and now 14 unanswered by Washington Lee. So we are back where we first began, and all tied up.
It's personal foul against J.E.B. Stuart, so.
Yeah.
So Washington Lee's going to be kicking it off on the 40-yard line. The last kickoff went into the end zone, so let's see where this kickoff goes.
All right, Enroth now. Let's see if he can get it into the end zone again. And make Stuart start at their own 20. This one's going to be a little shorter, but nice and deep, however. And that could be Amini Shenegwe over on the far side now. No, it was Tristan Jordan. It's always one of those two.
Exactly. And that's a good return by Jordan.
All right, 2:27 to go.
Now it's going to be interesting to see what Stuart comes out with 2.5 minutes to go.
I was just about to ask you.
That's funny. In the half. I think we'll see Kirby early in the shot, but then I think they're going to go deep.
All right, Robinson out under center. Looking to pass on first down. He's going deep on first down. He's got a receiver. Over the shoulder catch. Nice job. Good job by Amini Shenegwe.
And if you watch on that play, Washington Lee, the cornerbacks were given the wideouts 10, 15-yard cushions, so they couldn't get beat deep. Shenegwe did a great pass, a great route.
Yeah.
He ran to the inside. It's what you would call a post corner, where he ran towards the post and then took it back out to the corner. Great pass, great route. They did a good job of fooling the cornerback on that play as well.
A good 30, 35-yard pass there.
Right, and they fooled me too, because I was expecting them to go to Kirby early in the stride.
They're going to Kirby on this particular play right here. He's going to try to look for some running room to the left side, and he does get something out of it.
And that's a good rush by Kirby too. You can see the patience that he's showing there. There wasn't much there. He slows down a little bit behind his lineman, waiting for the hole to open up, and then boom, he's through the hole. As you see right there, then pause, and boom, through the hole. I think Madden would like that.
Yeah, boom. Pow. Picks up about 4, so it'll be second down and 8. Or second down and 6, pardon me. 1:35 to go. Robinson now, he's going to keep it. Turns the corner, gets some good running room. Looks like that'll be enough for a first down for Javante Robinson. I think one of the better quarterbacks, too, in the National District. Chris, I guess I should say he's maybe a little bit more underrated than some of the other ones.
Yeah, and he's showing great poise tonight.
Right.
He's waiting in the pocket to find passes. He's throwing a great long ball, and he's really commanding the offense as they move down the field.
All right, Robinson across the middle, nice catch. And it's Shinigwe again, I believe, and he scores it. No, he doesn't. He gets taken down. There's a nice little slant pattern.
But we got a flag in the backfield. Might be a late hit. I'm not sure. But Jeb Stewart's all standing back, so it may have been holding.
Yeah.
That's a call we're getting right now, holding at Stuart.
It's too bad. That was a good play. Nice play call in there. And good execution. I think in National District, you talk about, Robinson, Appel, the sophomore, Jordan Smith. How about Drew Powell from Wakefield? I think he's a great quarterback out of the National District. A lot of good athletic players.
And he also got the Knutson kid over at Hayfield,
right.
And he's a young kid as well.
Yeah.
So, there's a lot of, you got some good seniors, and you got a lot of young kids in this district playing quarterback as well.
A good mix.
And we're getting a good mix coming from the sky as well.
Those are not flies or gnats or bugs, ladies and gentlemen. That's precipitation under the Friday night lights just before Halloween. All right, 55 seconds now here in the first half. Robinson finds a man in the flat. And I believe that was Kirby. No, it was 23, I'm sorry.
Tristan Jordan.
That was Tristan Jordan, yes.
Not much there, but they got a couple yards. He got out of bounds, stopped the clock.
Yeah. 48 seconds to go.
As long as you don't go backwards here, the more positive yards you get, the better things are going to be.
All right, now, shotgun, Robinson. Up top again, got a receiver over there. There's a battle for it across the way. It looks like Shinigwe got it. And he did.
That's amazing, that ball.
That was up for grabs.
How that ball got there.
Shinigwe, the 6 foot, 160-pound senior for Stuart. What a game he's had tonight.
But watch here in the replay. Robinson has time in the backfield. Throws it up, short pass, and it looks like the defender didn't get his head turned around until late. And once he did get it turned around, the ball was almost there. It wasn't much he could do. Just try to hop on Shinigwe and hope he can knock the ball out of his hands.
Yeah, he tried to hop on him from behind, but he couldn't get it out. So nonetheless, now Stuart with 38 seconds left, threatening to score here in the first half.
And they called a second timeout here.
They did,
which is, you remember in high school, the clock stops every time you get a first down.
Right.
So, but they still got the stoppage and then called timeout. 38 seconds left. I think Coach Ferry wanted to take a second and make it a point that they have to get points out of this drive, just to answer the two scores, that Washington Lee just had to answer their two scores.
Good first half, huh?
Oh, it's a great. These two teams. It's late in the season. Not much to play for, but pride. But neither one of them is giving up.
No, you gotta love it. All right, there is the handoff. You know who that is, and you know what he just did. Touchdown, Stuart. Chris Kirby. The question is, did they leave too much time on the clock for Josh Shapiro? 32 seconds left.
And Kirby just ran untouched.
Untouched.
Made one move in the backfield, found the hole, cut it back, cut it up, untouched. Now, so this is a great thing for Stuart as well. So now they've answered the two Washington Lee scores.
All right, now there's the extra point. And it is no good. Maybe that could come back to haunt Stuart later on.
Exactly. People take the point after 10 for granted.
It's taken for granted. Sure it is. I mean, not just on every level.
Correct, on every level. You just automatically think, when somebody scores, it's like, oh, that's 7.
Yeah.
So you take for granted that extra point. Now, how many times have we seen that 1 point cost somebody a ball game?
Exactly.
If you miss it, it just seems like throughout the night you're chasing it.
Yeah.
You're chasing that one.
Yeah.
Do I go for 2 now? Do I go for 2 later? So you're chasing that 1 point for the rest of the evening.
Yeah, he don't care if it's raining or snowing or whatever. He's having a blast. So there's 32 seconds remaining. 20-14. The missed extra point by Stuart. So it's 20-14 now. And there is Dwayne Williams on the return.
And good run back by Williams.
Yeah.
You know, he fought for some yards there. Wasn't going to let the first guy bring him down.
Way too wide.
All right, 21 seconds remaining. That play took 11 seconds.
Keep moving.
He ran on the all the way across the field. Yeah, like you said, nobody was going to take him down.
Hey, we're not on the line.
He was
You know,
fighting.
fights through that tackle right there. Fights to the next one. Bounces off of a guy. You know. Keep fighting.
Musa Abdul Musa.
Muddle huddle from
Yep.
Washington Lane here.
Here we go. You know who that is? Seth Whitmore
All right.
gets to the 40-yard line. 15 seconds.
That was Gomez.
I'm sorry, that was Gomez. I'm sorry. I'm getting my numbers all mixed up tonight.
The direct snap to Gomez out of the muddle huddle. That's an interesting wrinkle.
Yeah. So they get to the 40. I need my eyes checked, Chris. Tonight is not a good night. All right, W&L with another timeout.
It's the rain, snow, whatever we're getting here tonight that has you off a little bit.
Yeah, that's it. Or maybe I need new glasses.
And also it's tough, too, because, you know, one of the things that's kind of unique about the Washington Lee press box is that we are looking through the bars
Right.
here on the over the glass and over the screens here.
It's a little different. All right, Enroth.
But it's little things like that the bars and the windows here that make every press box, every stadium unique.
Sure.
Has its own mystique about it.
All right, there's the pass. Incomplete. That one intended for Devon Lyons. Yeah, every single, the 3 here in Arlington County, or 4 if you include O'Connell, but we haven't really been at O'Connell in a while. But yours, over at Yorktown, you've got heat, man.
Yeah, the heat would be nice on a night like tonight.
Yeah. If you really want an old-fashioned press box, go to Wakefield. That one's got the whole wooden thing going, and
Right, exactly.
you know, and when you're walking on the wood, it creaks and cracks. And but they all are they're unique in their own way. And Appel's pass now again intended for Devon Lyons.
I think Lions is having a tough night tonight.
There's been a couple players dropping some passes tonight. 3 seconds left, so this will definitely be the last play of the first half. Yeah, it's been a tough go for some of the Generals. Thomas Kern, the senior, has been in. He hasn't really had a look his way yet.
And if you look at the J.E.B. Stuart defense, I mean, they have guys
Oh, yeah, way down.
40 yards off the ball.
Yeah, and that one, Gomez, and that'll end the first half.